So we need to take them out of the plastic.
So I have to remove the gloves.
Yeah. You can do that. So we could actually cut the plastic and take them out.
Oh, right.
No, we don't have to. You can get them out.
There are the pair of scissors.
We'll just break the plastic off. We need to get plastic off things. So with things like negatives, we can leave them in water for, I think it's up to 48 hours, I'll have to check, and we can send them to a processor. But we don't really need to do that with negatives because they go through a water process when they're made anyway. So one of the great things about negatives, we've got our emulsion side and our non-emulsion side. So if they've got mud or dirt on them, we can rinse them at this stage and get that off. In terms of drying them, once they're rinsed, if they're dirty, we need to dry them on remade, emulsion side up. So we need to know which is the emulsion side. I think it's that side.
This one, this
yeah,
one.
emulsion side. So once we've got them out,
How will we get to know?
so you're putting these emulsion side down, we need to make sure we keep emulsion side up because the
Emulsion layer is a motion side.
Yeah.
This is a motion.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's very easy to see the emulsion side when they dry. So have a look at some negatives when they dry, and you'll know immediately which is the emulsion side.
You can also do one test of checking that if you are not aware, which is an unwanted part. You just use a needle, try to scratch that.
Scratch.
Yes,
Okay.
if the scratch comes over that is a motion side. If it is not there, then that is a
But don't put a scratch through
on
the
the just outside that.
yeah, just on that bit, not this bit. Yeah. So we can rinse these like this, and then we can put a blotter down, some remade, and just simply air dry them on a table like this, and then they'll just dry.
This blotter will not stuck during the drying time.
Sorry?
If you will keep this on a blotting paper, this because this has a tendency to
To
stick
stick.
with
Yeah.
this. So
This is remade, so nothing should stick to it.
nothing can stick.
Yeah. So
Not on a blotting, no?
No, I'd always put them on remade, not just directly on blotter. And you might even want to put them on lint-free paper and remade because you don't want anything getting stuck on the image side of this during the drying process. The other thing you can do is, if you're not going to damage them, for example, this one here,
Clamp it.
Yes. That's a good one.
Even इसमें यहाँ पे कर सकते हैं ना सर? From this side.
you can put them on the clothesline. So we've had the opportunity to rinse them, and now we can put them on the clothesline. Because you can see laying out a whole lot of negatives on this table is going to take up a huge amount of room, isn't it? So it's actually easier if you can put them on the clothesline.
You might just clip on the image.
You might just try and clip on the very edge. Yeah. See, there's no image here. That's why I've done that.
That part is
By chance.
Oops. Gosh, this clothesline's moving around. It was an earthquake. Okay, so I haven't clipped on the image
one
there.
is emulsion,
Yeah.
that is
So
a
the more
silver
things we
highlight
can put on the
emulsion.
clothesline, the better, because air drying is so
Scratch
takes
will
up so
come
much
over the
room.
emulsion.
Now this is also part
That
of
should always be.
this is also part of the negatives.
Yes.
So I keep talking about not separating things. So this can be dried. It's really the paper that we're more interested in because you can see it's got documentation on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to document that this goes with these. Okay? So I could probably put that on the clothesline like that and just let that air dry, or I could let that air dry lying down on a blotter and remade like this. Okay? So I need to keep in mind documentation that these key things belong to each other.
We can remove that also.
Well-
This plastic is of no use in future.
No, because we've damaged it anyway getting out there. You can remove that, but there's no time to be removing that at the moment. Why go into doing things like that when we're so busy? So because it doesn't matter about this plastic, I could probably just air dry this on the line like this. Okay?
See, there's something is written, which is like ink can bleed. The ink can bleed. You are like telling me to write a question So it will bleed down.
Well, that's not bleeding, it's not going to
It's not
bleed.
bleeding. Like, if this is the water,
Yeah.
this is the paper, and this is the sheet of plastic. So is it like good enough to like add it from this side?
Well, I think with this it's okay. If it was bleeding, I'd be
It
lying
is not
flat on the
bleeding.
table.
Okay.
Yeah. Always look to see if things are bleeding, and then you make a different decision about them.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get as many things on the
Exactly.
clothesline as a space saver. Now we just have a normal photograph. Once again, if this was dirty, I could rinse it through the clean water. And when I'm talking about water, I'm not talking about India's tap water. I'm talking about distilled water, reverse osmosis water, water that we use in the lab, deionized water, and if you're really stuck, you can use bottled water, drinking water, bottled water. So you rinse it through that sort of water. We don't even rinse things in our Adelaide tap water. We've got the worst water in the world.
Use RO water, right?
Do you use what?
RO water.
Reverse osmosis. that
Reverse
also-
osmosis.
Clean water.
That
RO water.
Yeah, yeah.
RO, which is filtered water.
Yeah.
Any of those waters is fine, but not tap water. Yeah. So this can be air dried on blotter and remade, okay? Or it hasn't got an edge around it, so it's not, photographs you can also pin to a clothesline, okay? I have pegged things like this on the image, and I haven't had any damage if I've done it carefully, but generally it's recommended that you don't hang things on a clothesline unless it's got an edge around it. But because I have seen no damage before with this sort of thing, we can perhaps, we could possibly be damaged in the emulsion. We can peg it to a line. Or we could leave it on the table here till it was almost dry and then peg it to the line because it's gained strength. Okay? These are just postcards. So these are just paper. So with paper items, I need some remade. All very simple. There was a lot of postcards in the, I saw somebody over here doing postcards. Yeah, they've gone in the bin, have they? Yeah. So we can put all our postcards on this, right? We can put blotter underneath. We can put another sheet of remade on top, a sheet of blotter, and then we can put a very light weight if we want to. Yeah, thanks. So we can put our, now you've got to be careful that, see some of these are sort of glossy, I let them air dry a bit first. Some of them aren't. So you just treat them like pieces of paper. Another sheet of remade on the top, blotter, and then you can put a very light weight. And if you do it that way, they'll dry nice and flat and they won't cockle. So you won't need to worry about getting them flattened. They'll dry perfectly flat. So we'll sort of start building a stack here. If I could have a couple of sheets of blotter, 3 or 4 sheets of blotter. Right, just underneath. Right, now I'm going to put some on top, like this. Now I'm going to, another piece of remade.
Remain.
Right, so our flat paper items,
Oh, no.
we'll have a look and see what's in the bucket. Okay. We can put these. We've got lots of these. We haven't got any documents in here, have we? We had some documents, which I was going to... Okay, we've got some wet documents here. Okay, could I just... Right. Whoops. Be very careful handling wet things. Open them up. This is 2 pages. So we got documents. Piece of remade.
Remake.
It's big enough to cover this. Another piece of remade.
Yellow.
That's all right. 3 sheets of blotter. It's gone smaller. Okay. Yeah. We had bigger sheets before. I don't know what's happened. Did someone cut these? Yeah. Cut them. Yeah. Yeah. We need to make sure we cover. I need those big sheets. Could you get me some sheets out of the packet? Okay, so we just move them up a bit.
Overlap it.
Yeah. Now we have to be careful overlapping because when you've got wet things, and I've got 2 sheets there, we could develop a ridge there on the work. So perhaps 1 sheet would be better. Oh, I've got 3 sheets. 1 sheet would be better there at the overlap, and then I can. It has to be covered, and then a few more sheets. Okay. Remade. It's a dirty piece. We wouldn't normally use that. Another document. This is a book, I think. This is a little book. So with something like this that's wet and it's got quite a strong spine, in order to air dry this, we can just pop it on the clothesline. It's not coated paper, it's not going to stick, okay? So all of those pamphlets, those small documents like that, can all go on the clothesline. Now we'll just see what else we can put in this stack.
Some tape or something? Video tape, audio tape, something.
Yeah, we'll do that in a minute. I'm just showing you about the stack. Okay. So we're dealing with documents at the moment. That wasn't a very good way of handling, was it? It's just that I'm in a hurry. If we've got staples and things like that, we need to take them out because they'll go rusty, okay? So I won't take them out because I don't have time, but we can start off like that. And we need to lay down the corners. And we can put another document here. Now we can air dry these just like this, or we can get another piece of remade. This one. Okay, I'll just move this up closer so it's covered. 3 sheets of blotter.
So now that you're layering it so much and there's so many things which are getting dry, is that okay? Like you don't need to keep one set of stuff at one time, then another somewhere else and everything.
No, I'm putting them, what I'm trying to show you is that I'm drying a whole lot of documents and pieces of flat paper, and this can also apply to artworks like prints, drawings, watercolours, in a stack. So I can keep putting them in one after another with remade blotters, until my stack is about this high.
So it doesn't affect the lower one?
No, it'll press them nicely.
Okay.
Yeah, you just got to make sure that all of your edges are not folded over. You know, you
Flat.
Yeah, they're nice and flat. Otherwise, you'll push creases into things. And then you can put a weight like a board on the top, and you might need to change some of the blotters once, but no more than once, and then leave them, and they will dry perfectly in that stack. So I'm building a vertical stack as opposed to air drying on tables. So I might be able to get 300 or 400 items in this stack. So between building up and hanging on a clothesline, I'm not spreading out, okay?
Yes.
So that's called a stack way of drying. So it's a really good way of drying. And things come out really, really flat, and you don't need to do conservation treatment on them because you've got a very lightweight.
Duration of this drying is how much?
Sorry?
What is the duration of this drying to keep?
I would probably leave these things here. I would probably check the blotters within about 5 hours to see if they need changing, and then I would leave them there for probably 3 weeks. 3 weeks, and I would still then perhaps have a look at them and make sure they're okay. Obviously have a look and make sure they're okay. Then I'd probably leave them there another week or so, because paper takes a long time to dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in those 3 weeks, you're not going to come back and review and see.
No, there's no need to, because they're just sitting there drying. Yeah, nothing's happening to them, they're safe, and they'll just be drying nice and flat, as opposed to on the clothesline where they'll be cockling. So that's a great way of saving cockling. Okay?